This year for Christmas, Santa's brought us enthusiasts an early gift. Today we're going to be talking about the UltralightX, the latest mouse from one of the most infamous companies in the enthusiast space, and huge innovators for a long time now as well. Now before we get into the video, if there's any specific part you're looking for, be sure to go check down below on the bar or in the description. I have chapters for every section and every topic we're going to be talking about. So what we have here is it's a 38 gram mouse made out of carbon fiber composite. So I'm going to open up with an UltralightX and a Starlight comparison. So the Starlight's actually their previous model. For those of you who got to enjoy the Starlight 12, it's going to be an extremely similar experience considering the shape is identical. The UltralightX is essentially just a new and improved version of the Starlight 12. However, this year we are going to be getting a large size, which I'm personally excited about, which is going to be an identical shape to the Air 58, except very much updated from the Air 58, considering that it is a much older generation mouse. But we're also going to be getting the small and medium that you'll be familiar with from the Starlight 12. So the highlight innovation with the Starlight 12 was the magnesium alloy body. This magnesium alloy has a lower density, in turn creating a lower weight. Yet again, this year they have implemented a new material, which they're calling a carbon fiber composite. I'm not entirely sure what that is. However, it fucking works. We have a new, even more impressive weight coming in this year at 38 grams. Yet again, they have implemented a new material to set an even more impressive standard of light mice using this carbon fiber composite chassis with their typical honeycomb cutouts. The cutouts on the UltralightX are larger than the previous Starlight 12. I noticed this immediately along with how much lighter it was, even though I had been using the Starlight 12 for a week just to prepare for this mouse to come in. So along with the performance updates we also have a visual change that has actually grown on me a lot. At first, I didn't like the minimalist look of the, completely black with some accent colors. This year we have gold and blue, but it's grown on me a lot from the Starlight 12, which had the really cool designs, which I loved. And now this minimalist looks really good for minimalist setup. So if you're one of those people that has a very toned down setup, this is going to look great with it. This year the DPI button has been excluded, which I have welcomed happily. I only use the button when I first get the mouse, and now it's not even there. And I'm sure they saw that as a great opportunity to cut weight, simplify the design, and also just make engineering a little bit easier. However, this also brought a new addition to the Finalmouse lifestyle, because if you know from previous years, we normally didn't have a software. This year we do. But it's not one you have to download, and I'm completely happy with that. So Xpanel is going to be the browser-based software that you're going to use to configure your UltralightX when you first get it. It's easy to load up if you want to make adjustments in between games, which I've done before on stream, considering I accidentally left 4K on whenever I loaded into Apex, and just in between games I quickly changed it over to 1K polling rate. So you're actually going to be able to make changes to DPI, polling rate, liftoff distance, motion sync, dongle LED, and your firmware. However, the software is great. I'm sure there are people who would like to be able to adjust their debounce time, so hopefully that will be added in some time, because that is currently not there. Along with debounce time not being there, we also don't have the feature that some people were very excited about, which is 8K polling rate. Hopefully that'll be added soon, especially considering that they have the drop of their larger sizes coming out soon. All right, so now we're going to talk about quality control. This is probably going to be the largest portion of the video, as this is what most people are going to be most concerned about. If you know anything about Finalmouse, just specifically these previous drops and this year's drop, quality control is going to be something you're concerned about. Everyone wants to hear everyone's testimony and kind of know what this year's looking like. Personally, I am happy with the improvements that they have made, because with previous mice it has been honestly just a joke, and a lot of people who were excited to get their Starlight 12s just had issues the entire time that bothered them. I got very lucky with my previous Starlight 12. I didn't have too bad of double scrolls. Every now and then I would just randomly jump in Apex, and that was about it. But this year we actually have a scroll that's in the center and works perfectly fine. The shell creaking has been a big issue that I know a lot of people had with batch 1. I actually do have a batch 1 mouse, but it's towards the end of batch 1. So I think mine may have gotten a little bit of an improvement or just a better experience within the quality control department, because I did not have too much creaking. The only creaking I would really get is if I would grab the mouse and then twist it and squeeze. Another issue that I had that I discovered on stream was the top shell not being completely flush and not being completely stiff. I would flex sometimes, and I actually have my top right corner of my shell kind of protrudes a little bit and isn't flush. So if you run your finger over it, you kind of catch your finger on the corner. I do find that a little bit annoying. I talked about this in my first impression. Someone commented that this was an intentional strategic flexing. I asked them to, let me know where they found this information. I hit up Stubby, and I looked around on like Reddit and YouTube, and I couldn't find anything. I don't know if they found that like in a video or something because I searched it and nothing came up. So I don't think it was something that was typed out. If anything, they probably just honestly came up with that themselves. However, either way, I really don't like this edition. At least not as much as I had, because you can really get some deep like pushing in on this shell. You can really get a lot of post travel with this, and I'm not a fan. However, I do have a large model coming in, and obviously with this large model coming out later than the rest, it's going to have better quality control and probably just a better overall experience. So whenever that comes in, I will definitely do a follow-up review, and hopefully we will not have this shell flexing that I had. So next up, I want to go ahead and talk about the clicks. So when I first got my model in, that was one of the first things I noticed is the main clicks, man. They let me down. They let me down. I love the main clicks on the Starlight 12. They feel really, really crisp. I know a lot of people do. So the main clicks do feel a little bit off. I will let you guys know that with a lot of these mice that are not made of plastic, there's going to be a little break-in period on the clicks. And I've had this mouse for a long time, put in a lot of playtime on it, and it's still just not the level of clicks that I want. The post-travel is a little bit mushy, and just overall the click experience on the main clicks is a little bit mushy. It's nothing that's going to ruin your experience. I've had much worse experiences with cheaper mice. However, with something that's going to be coming at 189, I would love to see some improvements. That being said, let's go on to a positive, the side clicks. The side clicks are absolutely perfect. This is the best side click implementation that I have had with any mice. There's no post travel. They feel extremely sturdy. And the click doesn't change whenever you get to the edges. With a lot of mice, whenever you get to the edge of the side buttons, you feel a little bit of mushiness, a little bit of pre and post travel. However, this year they really nailed it. I really like the implementation. Now let's go to the scroll wheel. This is going to be possibly a hot take. I haven't watched too many reviews. I don't love the scroll wheel. It's a little bit too tactile and stiff for me, and it's also a little bit slippery. Honestly, I just wish they could have found a way to implement it the same way they did the Starlight, except with no issues, obviously, because the Starlight scroll, ironic as it is actually my favorite scroll in any mouse. The rubber feel of the middle scroll is absolutely amazing on the Starlight 12, along with the balance between tactile and soft and just ease of scroll. I absolutely love it. Easily my favorite scroll on any mouse. With that being said, if you do have any other mice to compare this to, I will not say it is as tactile or stiff as a Zowie scroll, but it's definitely kind of on the stiffer and more tactile side, but it's nothing too insane. As someone who plays 1301 on Apex and is a movement player, I'm constantly scrolling. I didn't have any issues with performance. It's just kind of like a quality of life issue that I have. Next up, let's talk about the skates. The skates are actually pretty good. I haven't even changed them out. So for those of you who are curious, the base plate is completely flush. So you can use any skates that you want, any pattern, any size, anything like that. I don't think you're going to have any issues. That is a huge W from Finalmouse. I will give them that. But yeah, I've been playing on these skates a lot with the SkyPad, as you can see, and I've tested it on other mouse pads, a bunch of artisans and stuff. Haven't really had any issues. Really smooth glide on SkyPad, and no catching on like X off 0 or anything with the corners, which has previously been some issues I've had. Now let's go to battery life and talk about polling rate performance and stuff like that. Really no issues. I really enjoyed the 4K on this mouse. Played a lot of Kovacs with it. Got a bunch of PBs. Really enjoyed the weight on this thing. Yeah. Also battery life is really, really good. I play on 1K most of the time because Apex doesn't like when I play on anything above 1K, unfortunately. But it lasted really, really good. I have only charged this thing one time since I've gotten it, so very impressive. I know that they have made some pretty insane claims about the battery life, but I'll let it slide just because it actually impressed me this year with having such a light mice. You normally cut weight by having a smaller battery, but they made the performance pretty good. Speaking of good performance, I just want to go ahead and talk about the weight a little bit more and kind of how my experience has been with it. Easily tellable. Like if you are kind of one of those people that's concerned about if you're going to be able to tell the difference, I will most definitely tell you whatever mouse you have right now, you're going to tell the difference unless you have a fingertip mouse that's lighter, obviously. But for most mice like the Starlight 12, especially if you're on something like a super light, which is most definitely not a heavy mouse, but you're still going to be able to tell the difference just because of how light this thing is. It's insane. One question that I do want to answer that is definitely going to be a question for a lot of people is I have a Starlight 12. Should I upgrade? So the way I would like to answer this is going to be yes, if two things. One, you're just a big enthusiast and you really want to get your hands on it. You know, it's not going to break the bank for you and you really want to experience it. I think this is definitely a good experience. It's definitely going to be something new. especially if you're someone who wants to enjoy 4K. Also, yes, if you have some quality control issues with your Starlight 12, if you absolutely love your Starlight 12, like someone like my friend Forby, he has a Starlight 12, he loves it, he loves the shape, he plays on it a lot, even though he has some big issues with his his scroll wheel. He gets double scrolls a lot of times. I think people like him who have a Starlight 12 who love it, but they have some issues with their scroll wheel and they want to spend the money, I think they should upgrade, just because you're not gonna have that scroll wheel issue, and the quality control issues on this thing, like with the flexing and stuff, they're not game changing. You don't feel it when you play. So I do think that if you want to upgrade, you should. But if it's gonna break the bank, you already have like a Starlight 12, you already have like an HTS Plus, you already have, you know, some small lightweight, you know, 4K mouse, and you don't want to try anything different that it's working for you. You don't need to spend the money. I don't think you need to. Like it's not like a must-have mouse. And also, here's a little teaser for the next video. This came in today, and I am super excited to be testing it out. Shout out to Rizzo for sending it out. Anyways, guys, enjoy. See you guys in the next one. Later.